Alright, hey guys, so Doxter here, and I'm back here again with Troy, and we're going to be, this is episode 3 of ranking every Force weapons from worst to best. So today we'll be doing all the Carbine rifles were ranked from worst to best, and this is going to be an interesting one because, well, every Carbine has, like, you gotta keep in mind that literally every Carbine in this game has debatably a better alternative out there, or a better situational. We'll get into what we mean by that. But it's really hard to rank these because you can't keep in mind that there's a lot better options out there. So just take this video with a little grain of salt because the rankings are a bit interesting, and we do have to re-record this. This is our third time recording because we changed the rankings a couple of times because first one was we could have done better. So there are currently 19 Carbine rifles in this game as of the post-Halloween Cataclysm update. But in this ranking, we're only going to have 15 rankings. We'll get into that why.
Alright.
So starting off at number 15, being the worst Carbine rifle in this game, is the L22. So the L22 is a Carbine rifle variant of the L85A2, and the L85 A2 is a very well-rounded assault rifle. The L22 is basically just an L85 A2 with worse damage and worse range, and that's wide.
This is pretty ugly.
It is lower rank, so I guess that is the better, and it has better handling because it is more compact. But other than that, this is really not a good choice because the L85 A2 already doesn't have that much damage.
Nah,
so.
okay.
Combine this, and you got a pea shooter. So, moving on. So next at number 14 is the CAC SRR, otherwise known as the Silenced Revolver Carbine. So, the Revolver Carbines are interesting. They're just interesting. And the CAC SRR is the silenced one in the family. And honestly, this is not that pog. It has a silencer, so it obviously cannot hit at range. Why would you use this when you can use the jury, right? Like,
yeah, that's true.
It doesn't make sense why you would use this. I mean, I guess it does look like a pretty cool gun. It looks like a rail gun, in my opinion. I don't know.
Okay.
But
tiny cylinder.
Just use the jury, dude. It's the better alternative.
Yeah.
Moving next up. So at number 13 is the HK51B. This is the Massachusetts version of the HK21. Why? Why? Why would you use this? It's literally an HK21 but worse. And the HK21 already suffers from the G3 recoil of literally being uncontrollable. And just make this and you basically have a chainsaw. Like it can only do damage at CQC. I have seen people run this and sweat with this, and yeah, you can use this if you want, and if you use it a lot, you get the good discipline, but I really don't know why you would want to use this when you can just use the HK21. I think this is kind of biased because like the HK21 is my favorite LMG, so it's not biased. I meant yeah.
Okay.
But next up at number 12 is the 1858 Carbine. So the 1858 Carbine is literally just a carbine variant of the 1858 New Army. This is not bad by any means. It's essential. You can compare this to the Henry 4570. But it just doesn't make sense why you use this when you can just use a modified 1858 New Army, and it's a lot more viable because the 1858 New Army is a secondary, so you're not really giving up your primary slot for literally a revolver with extended barrel.
Yeah, plus this gun is kind of awkward to use. I don't know why. It's weird.
Maybe it's because you're using a Z point, but
maybe like their beal animations are weird too.
I think this gun's pretty cool. It looks real nice, and it's lever action. So I mean. So essentially, this is just a weirder 1858 New Army. Oh, what rank is that, dude? I'm gonna report him for buying. Yeah, that's 1858 Carbine. So coming in at a three-way tie actually is the three-way tie at number 11, which is the X95R, the AK12C, and the G36K.
Yep.
The reason why this is a three-way tie is that by no means are any of these weapons bad. Like, they're all good in their own respective rights. But it's it doesn't make sense why you would use this. Kind of similar to what we're gonna rant about a lot in this video. The AK-12C is just a carbine variant of the AK-12. The G36K is a carbine variant of the G36. And the X95R is the carbine variant of the TAR-21. So I really don't see why you could use this, because you have an even lighter version. So if you want to use the G36K, why don't you just use the G36C? And if you want to use
That's
the
some aim
AK-12,
right there.
why don't you just use the AKU-12? And if you want to use the X95, why don't you just use the X95 SMG? Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense why you use these three, but they're still good. Like, there's by no means are these three bad. So that's our three-way tie for number 11.
Okay.
But yeah. Moving on to number 10 is the AKU-12. So the AKU-12 is like the SMG variant of the AK-12 prototypes, and this is actually really good. Like, if you know how to use this, the AKU-12 is insanely good, especially on close quarters maps. Like, I don't know,
Oh, what the
Bazaar.
fuck?
Okay, like on Bazaar, this thing is insane.
Okay.
This is comparable to the Krinkov, but the Krinkov hits a bit harder than this.
No, I
But
die.
this is an AK-12, so it's a lot more well-rounded than the Krinkov, in my opinion. I mean, it's an AK-12, so you should expect very good performance from this. And honestly, if you're gonna use the AK-12C, don't use the AK-12C, bro. Use this thing.
What? How? Okay.
What? How? Okay, dude.
Alright,
Moving on to number 9 is the AK-105. So I don't have the AK-105, but apparently it's not bad. This is just like a carbine variant of the AK-103. And I mean, the AK-103 is nothing too fancy. It's a more situational. It's basically just.
Don't worry.
This is a very situational AKM replacement. But I mean, weird pog gun.
Weird hog gun, yes.
But it's definitely worth trying out, because I mean, like, the AKs in this game are so satisfying to use.
Especially the new AK or 5.56 AKs, the new gun sound and crap, so not bad.
Alright, next up at number 8 is the Groza, or the Groza 4. I think it's Groza, I don't know. So the Groza 4 is a more situational Groza 1. This does a bit more damage, I think. Has a smaller 20-round magazine, and a silencer.
I have the extended magazine on this, so ignore the ammo count.
Yeah, if you like this, it's not bad. Like, it's a Groza, so it has very well-rounded performance at pretty much all ranges. But I feel like the Groza 1 is just a better alternative, because the Groza 1's a bit more well-rounded, so...
overall.
But, I mean, this is still good, because if you want this is like a more long-ranged Groza 1, I guess you could say. Alright, at our number 7 spot is the Groza 1.
Yes.
I just feel like this is a more well-rounded alternative to the Groza 4, which is why it's just above it, but it's pretty similar to the Groza 1. It has a bigger 30-round magazine. Oh, okay. It does a bit less damage and has a bit less range, I think. I'm not sure. I don't have the Groza 4, so I don't really know.
I don't know. Whenever I used to use this a lot because it's a decent gun, but after a while I just stopped using this thing because
this is basically
again, better options out there.
You could say this is a well-rounded AK, but with that title in mind, why don't you just go for an AK-12 variant?
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know, AK-12.
I mean, like, this thing does have, like, no recoil, if I'm honest.
That is true. This is a lot more accurate than the AK-12s.
That's true, but, like, with lower damage and not, like, super high fire rate, it's not... I don't know, I don't think it replaces an AK-12 or it's any better than it. So, yeah. Alright, moving on, what else we got?
Alright, at number 7 is the MC51SD.
Oh, this thing, okay.
Otherwise known as the battle rifle of the carbines. This thing literally acts as like a battle rifle. It's just a heavy hitting, slower MP5SD. I don't know why this exists. Who thought this was a good idea? But I mean, it's an MP5 SD, so it's very well rounded.
Oh,
I
nice.
oh, what is happening in that kill cam? I personally think that the MP5 SD is the better than this. But, it's hard to say. This is a weird gun.
Very weird.
This is a
Yeah.
three-way tie between the M4, M4A1, and the Scar PDW.
Well,
So these are all very good carbines, like very good. But they're just not special. None of these are
not
special.
special. Damn, bro, that's kind of
The
harsh.
M4 is actually kind of viable because it has the fastest reload in the game.
That's true.
M4A1,
It's
it's just a lighter M16.
my body's inside the tank. Okay. Oh.
And Scar PDW, Scar PDW used to be very good, like very good. But then it's kind of nerfed, and it's not that good anymore. But it still is good. These are all, like I just mentioned, these are all good guns, but there's nothing special about them. Like the Scar PDW.
Yep.
Scar PDW used to be meta, but now you can just use the Scar L, and it's just better. So if you like these, you like them.
Yeah. It's not
You'd
bad.
probably use these if you were like a COD player, like a sweaty COD player.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Use a honey badger if you're a COD player.
Next is number 4, the Jury.
Oh boy.
This is Troy's personal favorite. So, continue where we left off. The Jury is a very debatable carbine rifle because it's one of the revolver carbines. This is essentially just the better CAC SRR. This thing also has like 7 conversions.
That's true.
5? No, it has like 5 conversions, right? I think 5.
Yeah,
and you could
stock conversion on this or just nothing on it at the moment.
And there's like 4 different types of shotguns, I think, maybe 5. I'm not sure.
If I were to use a shotgun variant of this thing, bro. Okay, thank you.
So Troy is using the Flèche Jury, and this thing will destroy you at any range.
Yeah, it's basically like my secondary that I have right here, the Judge. Very similar to the secondary.
Yeah, the Judge is like the secondary.
With like a hell lot more recoil. Yeah,
but I mean,
it goes to the roof. That's how much recoil it has.
Essentially, the Jury is like a combination between the Judge and the KS-23M.
That's true. Oh crap.
Objectively, the Jury is the best out of the 3 that I just named. But it's debatable because
how
it's a revolver.
Not dead?
Moving on, number 3 is the FAL Carbine. FAL 50.63 Para Trooper. I don't know. This is essentially just a more situational FAL. It does more damage at close range and less at long range, but recently, because of the Cataclysm update, this thing has fallen into meta because of the conversions. I'm pretty sure the FALs all have at least like 3 conversions, and for some reason this is just like the best one.
Yep.
Like, I mean, who even uses the FAL Para Shorty? And not a lot of people even. And the actual FAL 50 is like a pretty high rank gun, so. Wait, is this higher ranked than the FAL at 50?
No, I think it's low. This is low rank in the FAL 50. So
okay, yeah, then that makes sense. This makes sense why this is such a meta weapon.
It's not bad.
It has like, what are the conversions? There's a 5.56 conversion, a 45
drum
ACP
conversion.
Was there another one? Is there a 9?
I mean, they have like the armor piercing and stuff, but that's pretty much.
Yeah, those are the base. But I mean, yeah, there's 2 big conversions, and the FAL 50.63 right now stock is pretty bad. It has pretty horrendous spread. But I mean, put on the 45 ACP and you pretty much have a laser beam.
Nope.
You can definitely see a lot of people using this, especially high rankers. So I mean, it's pretty. This is also debatable because it's really stock, but with the conversions, it's good. But I mean, that's the FAL 50.63.
That guy just got a triple claw with the Chris Vector.
Alright, moving into number 2 is the Honey Badger, my personal favorite carbine rifle.
It's not bad. I like this gun too.
So, the Honey Badger is infamous for being that one gun that, like, 1 to 2 years ago, you will find at least one person using this in every single freaking server.
It's like the freaking, like COD gun, I say.
From, like, the original Modern Warfare,
yeah.
I think. The Honey Badger is, like, an upgraded M4A1, in my opinion. It has more recoil, has more kick, but it has a lot higher fire rate, and it's it's very good with the right attachments.
Uh,
But I mean, all in all, the Honey Badger is a very good carbine rifle
viable
and used to be
carbine.
insanely meta. But then the HK416 was added, and this just kind of fell out of place.
Yeah.
So at our number one spot, the best carbine rifle in the game
It's other than the
is the AA12.
AA-12.
Let's go,
No,
dude.
I'm
All right,
just
but jokes
kidding.
aside, it is the SR3M. So SR3M is referred to as the better AS Val by many
Yep.
people. In my opinion, I think the Honey Badger is better,
Oh,
but
bro, you're wrong. Is this better? I'm just kidding.
okay, so the SR3M compared to the AS Val, the AS Val is more accurate because it has a lot less recoil, but
It's debatable, but okay.
it's debatable. Like on paper, the AS Val has more pros, but like an actual gameplay, the SR3M is better. It doesn't really make sense, but I mean, the SR3M is just good. You can't argue with it.
Yeah, I'm not really proving it right now.
SR3M is a very CQC to MRC weapon. This does not really do well in LRC, but that's kind of given because these are carbine rifles.
That's true. What's up?
All in all, this is debatable to the AS Val, and it's good. Right? All you gotta know is that the SR3M is good.
Yes, it's good, man. It's good.
This was one of the like early carbine rifles, right? Back in the day
Yeah,
when
this
there were
was
only like
pretty
10
early.
carbine rifles. This was one of them.
It's definitely
But I mean,
stands out
there's
as a really good one. Are you kidding me right now?
but I mean, yeah, that's our rankings. This is an interesting episode because, like I said in the beginning, carbines are very debatable.
Yes.
But I mean, thank you guys for watching.
Yep.
Next episode should be should be like 2 categories, maybe even 1. We should
Yeah.
probably do like LMGs or snipers next. But
Yeah.
thank you guys for watching.
See you
Don't
guys
forget to
next time.
smash that subscribe button and
Dislike,
peace.
unlike the video, split your hand in comments, bye.